Glad to have you back. If you're just joining us, you're watching Morning Delight on Lagos Television. It's time for us to open the access for you to join in the conversation. It's open access. The numbers will be on your screen shortly. I'm not as versatile or captivating like Romelia to have all the numbers in my head, but the numbers will be on your screen shortly. You can as well join in on all our social media platforms, join in the conversation, make your comments known, type in those comments, and let's have this discussion. Now, interestingly, it's going to be ones that you'll be interested in. We're looking at trafficking in persons and its implications. We've got two gentlemen in the studio. We've got Christian Iguedo, coordinator, Greater Returnees. Good morning.
Good morning.
And to my immediate left is Jeremiah Delu, advocate against illegal journey to Libya. Good morning. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. What struck me first was the fact that you guys are young. So why would you take up this venture of people? I don't want to go into the statistics of the number of people that have actually journeyed back in search of greener pastures, risked their lives, their fortune, lost their fortunes, and all that. But why do you want to do this? Why? Okay, let me start with you, Jeremiah.
Good morning, everybody. The reason why we are advocating for this, or why the reason why
it's personal.
Okay,
why are you doing this?
The reason I'm doing this is because of what I've seen in the journey so far, what people pass through, and the reason why they pass through what they pass through. So that's why when we come back from our journey, we've decided to make it dim fit so that people who don't have the full knowledge of what we pass through will not fall the victim that we felt.
Okay, you've been to Libya.
Yeah, sure.
So maybe just tell me your journey. What happened?
The journey was so sweet, and at the same time was so tough. Somebody gave me an information that in a lesser amount of money you'll be in Europe in 2 weeks. So though I happened to be in Benin, and the person brought the information, so it was so tough, like, oh my God, if I can pay this money now, I'll go. And the money is even cheap at 300,000 naira. If you can
300,000 naira.
300,000
naira. Just came to my head. Right.
That if you can pay this money, that before you know, you'll just be in Europe before you know it in 2 weeks. I was so excited about that, and I had to gather the money, by all means, to make sure that I go for the journey. But shortly before I know, instead of 300,000, I paid 1,150,000 at the end of the day.
How did that happen?
This conversation is getting interesting.
Because when I paid the money for 300,000 naira, shortly when we go to Niger, the person that directed me to meet over there said the money that I paid 300,000 naira as a lapse, that it will stop in this place. I have to pay another money from Niger to Agadez. So I told him, I said, what the person told me was, if I pay 300,000 naira, that would be enough for me to get to Europe where I'm going to. After paying 300,000 naira, before I was stuck there in Niger, in Yemen. So I had no choice than to control money from Nigeria again for the man, about 200,000 naira, that took me from Niger to Agadez. Getting to Agadez again, the man said the one that they paid him before from Niger, has expired. I have to pay another 5,000 CFA from Niger, from Agadez to Libya. The thing keeps going like that. So many persons are falling these victims because they don't have the full knowledge what they are. Somebody will just tell you, when you pay little amount of money, at the end of the day you see yourself in Libya in next 2 you see yourself in Europe in the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks thereby. So there are a lot of things that we went through. Okay, look at when we are going, sometimes we don't even eat. Sometimes they carry us inside the vehicle.
Why didn't you just tell the person that after I paid you 300,000 you didn't give me food?
No, when you start the journey, your mindset will be I'm going to the other side. Your mindset will not be I'm coming back home. It's like even somebody offend you, tell the person I'm not blaming you're not seeing me in Nigeria again, you're not seeing me to insult you, So you have that mindset of I'm not coming back home, I'm going to there, I'm going to. So whatever they say you should pay, you just want to pay.
All right, Jeremiah.
Christian.
Okay. All right. He's talked about how his 300,000 naira tripled, and he hadn't even gotten halfway his journey. That's the financial aspect that he has talked about. The reason why we do some of the topics we do is so that people, our viewers, can learn from experiences, and they do not have to go through it. And we like to make it as practical as possible, and that is what I'm trying to get from you. So emotionally, psychologically, let's talk about what you went through, apart from the monetary aspect.
Well, my journey was tough though, because so many things happened, which I never expect that something like that could ever happen. Because from the Niger border to Agadez, they use this Vanet bus, and at the back of the seat, the back seat, they'll fold the seat like about 4-4. You know, 4 persons supposed to sit at the back, and that 4-4 will lap about 3 persons each.
Wait, hold on. 4 people will sit,
Yeah,
and 1 person will lap
another, like 3 persons like that.
Okay.
So automatically 16 persons on the back seats.
And you have paid.
I paid
You
200.
pay your money. You
I
pay
paid
correct
200.
money to go.
So
So
yeah.
when you're going through all of that, what goes on in your mind?
Although I was ready for it, I wasn't actually cajoled that the road is not tough. I was ready for it. I know what I'm about to face. I've already asked questions. I know that the journey is tough.
You knew you were going to go
Yes,
through
yes,
toughness on
Yeah.
the journey,
Yeah.
and still you embarked on it.
yes.
Okay.
All right.
I'm stuck. I'm not usually the person that I find it difficult to ask questions, but you knew you were going to go through that, and you paid that kind of amount of money. Where did your journey end, actually? When did you get to? Perhaps just lead us to where you got to a point and you just said, I think I have to come back to Nigeria.
Okay. You see, when we got to Libya,
Eventually.
how
How many days or weeks did this take?
I stayed there. Mine was even faster, maybe because I paid the money that I have to pay. Mine was even faster. Mine was just 6 days in the desert. So when we got to Libya, I was so surprised. They took us to the place, that place, the transit. They used to call the place Saba, Ajara, Jazeera. You know, when I got there, it was like a big hall. You know, I had so many persons there. Different set of persons. They will ask you, where are you from? Okay, you are from Nigeria. We said in Nigeria, Edo. So okay, look at your people there. Those my people, they are looking like madmen, tattered. You know, their clothes. Even you see sporting with I mean, you see the cloth have string through. You know, the other ones they ask, where are you? Okay, I'm from Lagos. Okay, look at your people there, and they will tell you this land. They will announce to you that you are welcome to the land of no mercy, the land of Ajara, Jazeera. But you have to pay your money before you leave here, and you see them beating your own fellow Nigerians. And shockingly, it's not even that it is the Arabu or the Libyans that are beating also. It's our own fellow Nigerians that are doing us this evil.
Beating and flogging.
Beating and flogging us.
Why? What's
That is how they earn their own money. That is how they feed.
Who pays them for beating?
Because if we want to pay money, we are not paying money in Arabu's account. We are not paying into any Libya's account. Libya don't have banks. They don't have full government administration like we have now, because they have not been government since Gaddafi. So you see, the own money that we paid in Nigeria's account, in our own fellow brothers' account. So they will be the one that will go and withdraw from Western Union and pay the Arabu. But though they are the one that has the lion's share. Arabu is taking 50,000 naira, that's 50 dinars, 500 dinars, right, to build individual, but they are collecting 300,000 naira, getting 250, you know, as their own gain. So you discover our own people, which we call our own fellow Nigerians, are the one making us to go through the pain you are seeing in Nigeria today. These Libya people that you are seeing that they are bringing from Libya, bringing from Morocco, bringing from all the parts of the nation, it's not because some of them did not even merit it. It's because of what our own fellow Nigerians are doing to them. I have a passport, but the Nigerian guy from Edo State collected my passport and told me no problem that I cannot pass through here from Sabah to Tripoli with my passport. At the end of the day, he collected my passport and sold that same passport to somebody else, and somebody else bought it. Meaning, if when you are leaving Sabah, whatever you have, whether you have passport, whether you have visa, whether you have anything document, they have to collect it from you, make you look illegally. I don't know if you mean make you do illegally. Then they will now sell that same paper or document to somebody else that just come and like, I've gotten you a new passport, I will make you. And when the person is leaving, they'll still cajole the person and still carry that one and accept another person. So you see, that's the way they live their life, and they are comfortable. Now, painful and shocking enough, these persons are the people the Nigerian government knew. They are the people working for the Nigerian government.
Your fellow Nigerians that you met there, why are they there? Under what circumstances?
They were there the way I was there, because that place is a transit. It's not that all of us are going to Libya, no.
To the extent that their clothes are tattered and they look like they've been there for years.
Like I said, Nigerians that are in Libya, that is their own livelihood. That is how they earn their money. They are just basically in trafficking. So you see, if we are going, we normally enter ILOX. You know this ILOX now? The minimum that will be inside ILOX is 21, which I was. I was even grateful to God that one is 21.
Some are more.
Yeah, 30, 35. Sometimes when you come down like 2-3 days, you will not be able to stand on your feet because of the way they will jump pack you. So you discover people are just tripping, and that's the reason we are coming out. We are coming out to see you people are not seeing the other side of it. Migration actually is not bad. Migration actually is a good thing. But how do you go about this? If you want to travel, we are not saying you shouldn't travel. We are saying if you want to travel, travel the right way. We are saying the thing we are facing over there, we don't want those who don't have the full knowledge to pass through what we pass through. Because it was not funny.
Okay. Christian, at what point did you make that decision? Because you're here now, you're back, you're alive, you're here, you're healthy. At least it looks like you're healthy, and you're able to come on the show to talk about your experience. Not a lot of us are that lucky to come back home to talk about it. All right, so at what point did you decide that, oh, I've had enough? Was it a choice you made, or it was a choice that was made for you and you didn't have any choice but to come back home? Tell us.
Not at all.
Okay.
I made the choice.
All right.
Because I'm somebody that all through my life I've been trying to make ends meet myself. So I actually got an admission. It didn't work out. I got an admission, but no finance. So I applied for a series of NDA. It didn't work out. I went for a trade. After my trade, I turned to go into business, to go into selling of computer components. But I couldn't have access to finance. Some persons advised me to go to Lapo to go get some money, but I did research on people that have access to Lapo and how they were able to pay back. I find out that if I eventually go into it, it won't favor me. So along the line, because I never had the intention of traveling, so I just decided to, since people are making it through Libya, let me also embark on the journey. And I was not even having money, so I did my research. Somebody said, okay, don't worry, I'll put you on track.
You did research?
Yeah. Somebody said, I'll put you on track. Getting there, I actually paid my money. I worked and I paid my money.
You worked there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Within the space of 3 months, I paid my money.
How much did you pay in total?
It was 400.
400.
Yeah.
All right. So how did you not get to, I want to get to Europe, I want to go and work, to, oh God, I've had enough, I want to go back home?
You can see, even Libya is more better than Nigeria.
Even with all that?
Sure. Yes, apart from the freedom, Libya is better than Nigeria. In Libya, no matter the kind of job you do, you can save, you can eat fine. But it's not like that in Nigeria.
So why did you come back home? Tell us, because the point we're trying to make,
I was held captive.
You were on a journey. Okay,
I was held captive.
All right.
After paying my 400,000 on my way to Tripoli, I was held captive. I was tranquilled. You can call it kidnapping here, but I was tranquilled. I was asked to pay about 300,000, and there was no way I could call Nigeria and say, I need so and so amount. It's not possible. I was there. I passed through so many things: the beating, morning, afternoon, night. You eat once, and that once they'll give you banku. There's a food called banku there. It's about 8 persons to 1 bowl. At the end of the day, you might only have access to 2 pots.
2 more.
2 more. And I was there for like 1 month. God so kind, I was able to escape.
You escaped?
Yeah. I told you I was already set for the journey. I know there's danger ahead. I must be sincere here because I was fed up with this country.
All right, go on.
Yeah.
You escaped. And
so I escaped. I traced my route back to the gate where I was, because it was even in Nigeria, Ajazera. I was staying in Sabah at Asata Malin. I traced my route back. When I get there, I walked again. Although I was having some money left there, I walked in and I pushed down to Tripoli. On my way to Tripoli, I got to a state called Gerian. The first town in Gerian was Zantan. They arrested us in Zantan. They took us to prison for just 14 days. After 14 days, they separated some of us.
For just 14 days?
They separated some of us and took us to another prison. And that prison was an underground prison.
Okay, let's hold on a second. I think you have someone to talk to you.
From where? You're calling from where? You're calling from where?
Okay, so
okay, please go ahead.
Okay. Trafficking in Nigeria. I want to, is there any agency that normally arrests those people that traffic people in Nigeria?
Okay, is that the question?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. You can actually go offline. We'll answer that. I think there's NAPTIP
is the agency in charge of that. People trafficking persons.
Okay, we have just little time. Okay, but we need to send a message out there. That's why we invited you. You've gone through the harrowing experience of going through the desert, but eventually you decided to abort your journey to Europe.
We never decided to abort our journey.
The thing is,
the journey aborted your decision to travel, or what happened?
At a point when we are unable to get to where we are going to, and the killings and the war of Libya now started. That was when Kudos to IOM came on and said Nigerian.
That's International
Organization
for Migration. Okay.
They said, no, we won't want you people to die like this, because so many persons have died in the sea, in the desert, even on the land, in the prison. So they came up with that plan, I think, last 2 years, that everybody in Libya, those in the prison, that was when I knew we were up to 45,000 persons in Libya.
45,000?
45,000. And all thanks to IOM, because they've tried their possible to make sure that those people who were held captive in Libya, those people who were held captive in prisons, those people who feel they cannot make it again, they help them to come home. They did what we call a general raid of persons. Even if you are walking on the street, you are walking.
Good morning. I really enjoyed the Lagos television.
Thank you very much, sir.
I want to contribute to what they are saying concerning the Libya travel. Okay. In terms of Libya is better than Nigeria. In Nigeria, we don't have any in Libya. Okay. Look at what the stress they go to. In Nigeria, you have freedom of speech, freedom of work, but in Libya, you don't have that freedom. That is why thank God that they have come home. In Nigeria is your home.
Thank you.
Okay, see, there are challenges in this country, but I can tell you, while you're telling me one country is better than the other, I've seen people go through the odds in this country and they're out on the other side and looking very good. So many young people as well, like you, they've gone through challenges and they're doing better in this country. Why? And the question to you is, why can't you put in that energy you had working in Libya, that I'm going to make it? Why don't you dissipate that kind of energy here to make it? Because people are doing that and they're overcoming the challenges.
Okay. First of all, the environment here is not friendly.
What do you
like that?
Okay.
Because if you look at small-scale business here in Nigeria, it's difficult for them to have access to loan. Even if they have access to loan, what are the policies or the logistics of them paying back that loan?
Okay. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Yeah, my name is Ben.
Ben from where?
Yeah, Ben from Ecuador.
All right,
Okay,
sir.
please, can you make it snappy?
Is that? Yeah, sure. I have to. Well, first of all, I thank the young guys for their courage to come on television, and I thank God also for bringing them back home. But my point is that about 72.9% of Nigerians outside the shores of this country are not into anything legal. Yeah, if they can look me in the eyes of challenge, I have put this as a kind of challenge to them. That is what is driving them out there. There are a lot of things one can do here. Yeah, why putting yourself at risk? Yeah. Well, I thank God that they tried it and they are now back home. So what difference can that make? Would they not want to embark on such journey at any given time? Is there any assurance that they wouldn't take off at any time again? So
That's the question we're posing to them as well.
Can I?
Please, please.
Okay, sir. The thing is, no matter or the level you are, no matter who you are in this country, when you fall in Europe, let's use maybe Germany for example. If you like, you are a president or you are a rich man, you somehow, either consciously or subconsciously, adapt to their own rules and regulations. So it then means that it's not that all of us we are illegal. Some of us, I'm a graduate. I read civil engineering in Auchi Polytechnic. Are you saying I'm doing illegal job? The thing is, if we have facilities for these young ones, Europe, everybody is running to Europe. Europe is planned. Europe is organized. They have plans for the young women and the young men.
One moment. Hello, good morning.
Hello,
good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, my name is Atiemi Emmanuel.
All right, Mr. King.
I just have a little contribution to the topic, trafficking in persons.
Okay, go ahead.
That actually we should understand that to actually make it in Nigeria is difficult as a starter, and you don't have access to credit facilities. So making it in Nigeria, since it's difficult, you find it easier out there because it's easier for you to actually build yourself and make it out there than in Nigeria.
Thank you very much, sir.
That's just my little contribution. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Okay, Christian, I will have to tell you one thing. I don't know if it's going to help you as you move ahead. You seem to me like a very brilliant young man. You seem to me like a young man who knows what he wants and would go after it and get it. You seem to me like someone, if you sat down to think within yourself, you kept on using the word research, and I had to ask you again, research. It takes a lot for one to sit down and you say you're researching on anything you're doing. It shows how long term you think. You're back home now. You're back home. We thank God that you're back home. Same to you, Christian. As our callers have asked you, what are those steps you're taking so that you don't go back?
What are you telling others
Well, to do? With my experience, I won't go back.
All right.
I won't go
so
back.
What have you decided to do aside?
I'm doing a lot of things. I'm a partner with a dealer in Car 45 presently now.
In where?
In Car 45.
All right.
But the issue is that, what about other returnees that are back that could not find a way out? That is why we actually come together as a group called Greater Returning to actually see how we can seek for empowerment for other returnees and also join in the fight against illegal migration and human trafficking.
You have a question here from Itunu. It says, please, I need to know how the government have been able to assist these young minds after returning.
Is it we or other ones? The government per se, they've tried using the organization, International Organization of Migrants.
Okay.
You know, they organize a skill acquisition training for us when we came back, like to change our mindset. The truth is, when you come back, your brain is formatted. There is nothing in your brain. If you experience the prison, like me, I was in the prison for 9 months. When I came back, the only thing I could remember was my dad's name, and I couldn't even remember some things. In short, I was even angry, like when I come to Nigeria from the airport, I would bust them. No, but IOM gave us a mindset, a orientation that changed our mind, and ask you, man, I'm looking at you, I look at your profile, can you work? Do you go to school? Come. Irrespective of your background, they will bring everybody together, give you this charge of spirit, give you some motivational talks that will make you believe I can stand again.
Did your parents or your family members, were they happy that you were back?
I couldn't tell my dad that I traveled. In short, when he heard that I traveled, he was so angry with me, like.
And you were away for how long?
2 years.
Okay.
And he didn't know you traveled. All right. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, please. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, I'm Sebastian. I'm calling from Abuja.
Oh, Sebastian. I'm very well. Please go on with your contribution.
Good. Yeah, I just have 2 quick observations. Thank you for putting up this very informative and insightful program, and very big thank you to the gentlemen who have decided to come.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
To share their experiences and serve further destruction to our children in the future. But I think we shouldn't just stop at trying to know what these young men pass through. We should also ask ourselves, what are the structural issues with the country that led young minds, great minds, to go and risk their lives in the desert? As we speak in this country today, those who don't have a godfather, have the qualifications, cannot get a job. It is now, what is your father's name?
That is it.
It is now, who is your father?
That is it.
Those kind of things can make children to become, young men to become quite despondent, and they'll say to themselves, like the young man who said, I did my research, I was ready for it, and saying, you know what, I'm going to go for it. If I die, what's the difference? So yeah, it's one thing for us to say we do have good freedom here, better freedom than Libya, fine. But it's another thing for us to look at the structural problems, because it has even gone beyond nepotism. It has gone to the level now where if you don't have a godfather, if your father is not, I don't want to win positions, you don't get a job. You have all it takes. They say, go to school, you've got to school. They say, go get a skill set, you've got to get one. Then you come back, roaming the streets, you can't get a job. It's okay, get a skill set and come for a loan, you come. It's all wash, it's all hogwash. You go there and you discover that it's all propaganda. You can't get the same access to finance. You can't get. The young man says he tried series of NDEs or NDAs, and you go there, it's all a godfatherism. Who is your father? And then you get a job. You get this. So, yeah, we wouldn't encourage them to go out, but let us look at the structural problems.
Okay, I think we got your point. Thank you.
Trying to see that we have change in the country. It should be real change.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Sebastian.
Sebastian, thank you.
We're running out of time.
Thank you.
Honestly,
thank you.
But we did get that. But parting shot, actually. I know we didn't get to talk more. I wish we had more time to look at some of other things and how to help young minds, there are legal ways of actually getting out of this country. And I'm sure if you put 1.something million in a legal business or even, I don't know, even if it is, I don't know about business, but if you had even done that through, you want to migrate legally, 1.something million, I think you should be able to get to a country. Either you fly or something.
That's the reason why we are out now.
Okay.
Because so many people don't have the education, they don't have that mindset that I can do this thing rightly. And that's why we are coming from Greater Returning.
Okay.
That's why we are coming from IOM.
Okay.
We're coming from Patriotic Citizen Initiatives, from HCFR, from NAPTIV to say, sir, but like what you said, they said you research. Some persons don't even research, because if you look at half of the persons that went to this journey, it's so tough. Some of them are some don't even research. Thank God for us that will do a little research and say, okay, let's even see if he's good or not, you know. So that's why we're coming out with this advocacy to fight against irregular migration, human trafficking, hard labor, forced labor, to see if we can change the mindset of the young Nigerians and make them believe they can do something better in this country. And that's why we are still using this medium. We see it to appeal to the government and to the other agencies that they should support us. Because there are some places we'll go, we'll tell them we want to just carry out a campaign against illegal migration. No. And sometimes they have this stigmatization in Nigeria, like these persons are returnees, they are stinky, you know, they have this. No. So this thing is, we are just trying to build the economy. Like a slogan in Lagos, they say, cool, budget, something like that. That means we all will build it together. You see, the Rome, the Americans, we're not be the one day. So no, they build it together. So when we are trying to come together and say let's fight against regular migration for the young ones, because the wise one will say the youth are the leaders of tomorrow. Now these youth don't have that for knowledge, they don't have that reintegration. So that's why we're coming from our own perspective to say let's fight against irregular migration. We want sponsors also, whether in government agencies or private agencies, to sponsor us in this campaign, because if we can fight this campaign, at least let's say in next 10-20 years Nigeria will be a goal.
All right, thank you, Jeremiah Deluru, advocate against illegal journey to Libya, and to Christian Eguedo, coordinator, Greater Returnees. I must applaud both of you. It is a huge, bold step that you have made this morning, and you've impacted a lot of lives. Nigerians are watching you, and they're also very happy that you're back home, and we do wish you all the very best in all you do. Thank you so much.
We invite you again to come around.
Sure.
Oh, of course we will. We'll also try to reach out to some of the agencies to see if we can get their own take on the issue, and also see the issue is so much bigger than we see on the table. The elections are coming. These are some of the issues we can sort out.
Okay. So you've got some messages.
We do?
Yes.
Okay. I read a couple. Okay. Good morning, Mr. Momo from Benin City, TV Road. Please, it is not good. It is deadly. Thank you. Please, okay, I've read that. Thank you for this enlightenment. There is no job in the country for youths, but it is not enough to travel illegally. This is from Mrs. Grace from Imo. Please then send this information to the morning. I think, okay. They want us to properly document this. Of course, we will do that. You cannot be upset with these guys. They know what they wanted at the time. They perhaps did not strategize properly, and I'm sure did not have sufficient finance. Please don't call this line. I have worked here for a while and went to Canada with savings in hand legally. He spent some time there, did not find it easy, but eventually got a job and has settled down. The country has a problem. It needs to be fixed. Yeah, you and I need to fix it. I wonder, every time I hear about this thing, somebody has to fix this thing. You begin to point out at this thing. But when it comes to your turn to play your own part,
that's why we are coming out. That's why we are coming out.
It's not we alone. We are still coming again with the all returnees in Lagos chapter.
Oh, fantastic!
You know, so we have a group where we can both do this thing together.
All right, we will have this conversation some other time again. We truly want to at least help get to some parts of the whole issue, but we have to go now. Gathering and Ahana is sitting by to take us round the world of sports. About this time yesterday, are you here? After we finished the program, I got back to the office and I checked my pop-ups, and the very first one that came on was that the special one, the genius, has been asked to go. That's talking about Jose Mourinho. And I thought, was it Joshua and I that shushed him out of that job? What exactly happened? Godwin, good morning.
I'm sure he's relieved though.
So Godwin can't be relieved.